Hello everyone, my name is Owain on the Thomas Bros channel, and this is my brother.
Dewey.
And today we are going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 4, Gloves Off. So it's your chance to leave now before we get into any spoilers. 3, 2, 1, Easter.
Right, so this was actually quite a big episode for Bullseye because it was quite centered on him, I thought.
It was.
Because we start off the episode going through his day-to-day life, being a good neighbour.
Day in the life of a Bullseye, yeah.
Yeah, and his pastime being killing the anti-vigilante task force. That was
Yeah.
you see in one of the first scenes in the restaurant where... Well, which I like is that, he actually reported it himself, where he said Frank Castle was in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And they were all prepared, oh, it's the Punisher. No, it's Bullseye. And then he starts...
And they just get absolutely destroyed. It's like in his element as well, because it's a kitchen.
Yeah,
so, like,
everything's a weapon to him anyways. But like,
it's like his element.
Yeah, just everything's like a sharp object that he uses. But yeah, they just got instantly messed up. He leaves a calling card, which is like his little bullseye sign. He seems to be doing that a lot. Even when he was cooking, he put like his oil in the pan in like a bullseye.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Just everything he does, he just sees he leave his little calling card everywhere.
And he had a milkshake, which I thought was quite funny. He just have this murderer, and he just goes into a public place and is like, "I'll have a milkshake, please."
Yeah. So meanwhile, while he's doing his own thing, killing just some of the anti-vigilante task force, we go back to Matt and Karen, who have got the people that they rescued in the previous episode.
Oh yeah, the prisoners.
Yeah, so they're basically questioning them, asking them about their experiences being caught by Fisk's guys.
Yeah, so they can put it in a court to try and testify against
basically, that there was no real reason why they got abducted, and actually try and build somewhat of a case. Because it's not just about, trying to... They need to actually, not just like discriminate, but they need to build up enough evidence against him.
To actually put him in court.
Yeah, and so all these people together doing that, hopefully that's something along the lines to doing that. Also, we've got the swordsman who seems to have left now, but he seems to recognize the Daredevil as like a symbol now.
Yeah,
as he did say to him, you're just not just a hero, you're a symbol now to the people that as you say, hope is what you represent now. You've also got the new White Tiger who seems to be taking
some sort of note and passing it around.
It's like a chip is of a SIM card sort of thing off the camera. It's the recording, I think, of all that they've done for everyone that they've interviewed together.
That makes sense.
Now she's given it to a friend who's now given it to BB Rig, who, as we know now, is slandering Fisk in the background, posing as him. So with this, she can use this now to hopefully discriminate him even more and build up some kind of case there. But that hasn't really... We haven't seen what she's done with it yet, because that'll be for a later episode. But we know now what's happened with that. But, it's interesting that Daredevil actually allows her to do this, the White Tiger now, because...
Yeah, well, I think he knows that with the amulet, she's capable of doing it.
Yeah, well, he did warn her that, I'm sure you're ready to take on this responsibility. And she was like, well, were you? So, but that does actually cut into the crewmate that was on the Northern Star.
Oh, yeah, the first mate.
Yeah, he actually does come in. I thought he was in the same building as them anyways, because the woman that kept him safe did say that, she knew a safe place, and I thought it was the same one.
Yeah, but no, and then he comes back, and he tries to help, do the recordings to testify against Fisk.
Which they need Kirsten, because she is the one that can actually get it to the higher ups. Because obviously Matt and Karen, I wouldn't say are on the run, well, Karen kind of is, but Matt now is a hero to Fisk. But they're still being both hunted down by the anti-vigilante task force. Kirsten's under a lot of pressure because obviously they paid her a little visit and messed up the place and looking for thinking that she was hiding him when she wasn't. So she's under a lot of pressure, but she's still doing right. I feel like she's definitely become the new Foggy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In this, it's a lot of pressure, but she is dealing with it quite well. And she's trying to do everything
running
she
the
can
business.
Running the business, but also trying to take down, Fisk.
Yeah.
Because she did get the evidence. Now, what we know about this guy that was on the Northern Star, now he is dead. Buck kills him towards the end. I knew, in that scene where they were passing it over to him as Fisk was in the ring, that they were probably going to kill him off or something like that. And got Buck to do it. But it's... what has happened now is they've already got the recording.
They have. Though I feel like Fisk will try and do something to make it seem like, oh, the recording was fake, and try and say something like, he died at this time, the recording was recorded at after he died, so like do something to sort of invalidate the recording.
I don't know if you'd go that far, but the thing is that they've got that now. It's got to hold up to some measure along with the others. Now that one hasn't been passed over to BB yet, but I imagine. But Kirsten has still got it on her camera with Karen.
Yeah.
So hopefully they keep that safe, or just make duplicates of the thing. So something eventually makes its way to either the press, or later on down the line makes it to court.
Hopefully.
So this episode was also based on the fact that, we were talking about Bullseye before. Matt is on the chase to go after him, because the whole premise is, it seems like this charity event of the ring that Fisk's in the fight for. It's also a trap laid out for basically...
Oh, yeah!
Matt.
For Bullseye and Matt.
Yeah. And we do get a few locations that are kind of flashbacks to Matt, which is the church that he grew up in back in the old DearDevil series.
And Fogwell's gym,
Yes.
which is where they have the boxing match.
Yeah. That's where his father fought in and stuff. So I thought to myself, that's either Fisk's done his research to know that was the place that his father was doing the fighting, or just by pure coincidence. But I imagine he's done that.
Yeah,
just to
I imagine he has.
So that was kind of a trap laid out, kind of for at least one or the other. Because he wanted to expose himself, they'd draw Bullseye out. But also, on the other hand, if you can get DearDevil out there as well, that even better.
Yeah.
Tries to keep Vanessa out of play to keep her safe.
Yeah, well, obviously, because if it's a trap laid for Bullseye, he knows that if Vanessa's there, she's going to be... He's going to go straight after her, given their history. So, yeah, he sends her to go and talk to, the governor about the Safer Streets Act and about supporting Fisk. And they have... Vanessa and the governor have that little talk where she's like, I wouldn't support Mayor Fisk, but I would support Mayor and Mrs. Fisk.
Yeah. So I feel like, obviously she doesn't trust Fisk. She says that.
Yeah.
Now, she can get behind Vanessa more, realise that she's far more in control.
Yeah.
And I think that when she said, that, you could have done all this without him, kind of reminds me of the first season of Born Again, when Vanessa was kind of running the whole business. Now, it wasn't obviously the official mayor side of things, because that's what the governor's on about. But at the end of the day, I can't help but feel like, when Vanessa got asked that question, she felt it was more of a question about when Fisk was away and she was running the more underground, dark black market type of business.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think she could have done all this by herself, because even the governor and stuff would want her as mayor over Fisk. So I feel like she could have done more or less exactly what Fisk is doing now, just potentially more successful, but because she has control over herself more than Fisk does, but she just loves Fisk too much to not want him to do it with her, and vice versa.
Yeah. We also, I nearly forgot about this, the scene where they're at Red Hook, both Fisk and Buck, talking about the situation that they've got now with DearDevil and Bullseye. But now Charles has come back to basically find out why hasn't all his goods and weapons been shipped off to where they're supposed to be going. Now you have a bit of a
confrontation.
Between the two, and he gets his lads out, and then Buck kills them, and I know how much power Charles has. I assume quite a lot, but when they both walked off and Fisk told him that he needs to have more patience with it all, and he did say, shit. That so clearly he doesn't have everything under control, not as much as he thought he did have.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was more of a wake-up call for him that, right, maybe I do need to get a bit more
aware of what I'm doing,
yeah,
and who the people I'm dealing with. The thing is, Charles does give the impression like he's someone that in terms of power is a lot higher up than Fisk is, because he even gives the impression that he's got a lot more worldwide connections than Fisk. He says to Fisk, it seems like you're struggling to control your little part of the world when there's so much more stuff going on outside of you in New York.
Yeah.
So it gives the impression like he knows and has more connections than he sort of lets on. But of course, Fisk is quite crafty in the sense of that he doesn't really care who he's messing with.
Fisk has dealt with other people before, like the Hand.
Yeah.
Now, it's not exactly his first rodeo with someone who has a lot of power, so I think now he has a lot more... He's more prepared for people like that. But at the same time, I don't know Charles enough to know that what he kind of... Like, you don't know what kind of ace he has as his sleeve. And he's always been playing it very casually, very calm, very cool. So, because, you know, he's probably comfortable in the situation he's in. Now, after what Fisk just did there, he may now need to rethink the situation and either take more control of it somehow or deal with Fisk another way.
Yes.
So, we'll see. I mean, we're halfway through the series now.
Yeah, so we're going to have to find out at least at the end of this season, because it seems like they are setting up Charles as a sort of big player in this. But as of right now, we don't really know what his agenda is or what he's trying to do.
Now, we do come towards one of the last scenes, which is actually in the ring, in the boxing ring, where Fisk, you know, doing it all for charity, beating the hell out of that guy in the ring, didn't get touched once, was that confident in it. But what I found was interesting, as soon as Vanessa showed up, I thought he's going to let his guard down here now. And I kind of knew what would happen is he'd get one punch on him.
Yeah, and then he'd lose it.
Just lost it. Absolutely, just 2 punches and the guy went down instantly.
Yeah.
Now, whether that guy's going to die or not, I'm not too sure, because he did get taken with an ambulance, the paramedics and all
I
that.
wouldn't be surprised if he dies.
But even everyone was in awe and shock. But as soon as he gets given the belt, everyone just sort of forgot about him, like, yay, Fisk.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay, never mind, the guy could die, you know, so long as you guys are happy, that's all that matters. But then now, obviously, Vanessa goes up on the ring with him, and then Bullseye shows up. Because previously we had Matt and Bullseye in his apartment, busy in the confrontation. He's trying to balance the scales and trying to become, you know, I'm trying to help you, I'm a good guy, you know.
Yeah, because he did go to, like, church and get the, like, coin or whatever to sort of talk to that past, as we see in the first episode. And now it does seem like he's trying to be good in his own weird way, because he knows that the anti-vigilante task force are the bad guys, and he seems to be trying to kill them. Now, whether his end goal... Obviously, his end goal is to kill Vanessa. I don't know whether his end goal is to also kill Fisk as well. If he knows what's good for him, after trying to do what he did to Vanessa at the end there, if he knows what's good for him, he'll kill Fisk as soon as he can. Because if he doesn't, I don't think Bullseye's got much left to live.
Yeah, because DearDevil tried to stop him, because he did say to him in his apartment, he doesn't want to make him into a martyr, because everyone will just, like, sort of follow his legacy then, that vigilantes are just not welcome anymore after all what they've done to, you know, their lovable mayor that they all love and stuff, without knowing any of the actual things that he's done. So yeah, Bullseye goes to the ring. You know, he takes pretty much nearly all of the anti-vigilante task force out, and you know, Vanessa actually gets the shot on him. Which I thought was kind of funny. You got all these guys here with guns. She's the one that shoots him, and then he throws like this glass ornament, and then Fisk just uses the belt to shatter it.
Yeah.
Which actually is probably what actually got it in the head. Because the shrapnel, like, kind of... I should probably be dead if it hit her, but, you know, that shrapnel that came off, it was probably what got her in the head.
Went straight into her head.
And he was about to get the killing blow on Bullseye until DearDevil saved him and crashed out through the window. Now, at the moment, those two are running. Well, Bullseye's running, and DearDevil, I assume, is
running
trying to chase
after him.
Yeah.
And then the anti-vigilante task force, or what are left of them in that building, are running after DearDevil as well. DearDevil and Bullseye. Yeah,
so I think maybe next episode might just be straight off continuation. Because sometimes you get a certain time left between one episode ending and the other one beginning. So, like, you know, the previous episode where we just see them escaping the compound with the prisoners, but them already being safe and sound in a building and all that business. So I don't know how the next episode will play out. But Vanessa having the glass inside her head. Now I don't know how deep this thing has gone inside her head, but clearly deep enough that she's, you know, fainting and passing out.
Yeah.
So
it's as we it's difficult to say whether she's gonna die or not.
Ever since that time Fisk got shot in the head, or looked like to be in the eye, by Echo, I'm just not too sure anymore if you can like pass anyone off as dead. That's the thing. Even Vanessa just there, like a massive piece of glass coming out the side of her head. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Depends how fast the paramedics get there and take it to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not too sure. And the technology they have in the Marvel universe.
They do. So she could be saved, but
she could also be changed from the events. But what I do know is this: Fisk is going to be pissed.
Yeah, I feel like if she does die, that will be a massive sort of character change on Fisk, because he'll be like, I don't care about Freeport, I don't care about any of this anymore, I just need Bullseye dead.
Yeah, after this, because he does care about Vanessa a lot. He tried to send her away, and she didn't want that. That's why she turned up in the first place.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the old Daredevils, because when he sent her away the first time at the end of season 1, and then she came back in season 3 while he was in prison. I feel like she just never liked being away from him the whole time, and that's why she turned up in the ring there.
Yeah.
Now, going forward, also there's the governor to take in effect, because if Vanessa has been hurt like this, now she felt like she had more of a connection with Vanessa than Fisk. So if something happens to her, she may feel like, oh wow, maybe I really do need to help Fisk out more, because she's been hurt by the very vigilante he's trying to
that he's trying to destroy.
So this could now strengthen the sort of relationship between them for her to back up Fisk.
Yeah, which that won't be very good at all, will it?
Yeah, because after Northern Star being blown up by Fisk, but he's probably going to leave him on the vigilantes. Yeah. Now this, it's just every time a disaster happens, it's always worked out in a way that he can blame it on them with ease, and everything's just being worked up against them.
So it's going to be really difficult to try and turn the city against Fisk with all this evidence. Yet again, maybe that's why Jessica Jones gets brought into all this.
Yeah, we still haven't seen her character yet. Now, we're halfway through the series here. There's only 4 more episodes left. So, I don't know if we're going to get any more, two-parters, like a 2-part
maybe
in 1 week. Maybe the very last 2 episodes. Something like that. But I'm excited to see what happens next. I am enjoying the show. It always seems like at the very end of every episode, it's always these some kind of dynamic, oh my god, what's about to happen next? Like last episode, you had all the prisoners Fisk had kept being freed at that massive action sequence. So now this one being the fate of Vanessa, really.
Not knowing whether she's going to survive or not.
Yeah. So I thought it was a good episode. Caught me by surprise, especially towards the end then, how Bullseye's whole dynamic is being changed.
I did like Bullseye in that episode. I thought it was pretty cool. And how they are sort of trying to change him into being he's trying to do better, but he's, still a psychopath, and he's still...
He's not right in the head. He's all about tipping the scales, and he's like, well, what are you going to do? If you kill Vanessa or Fisk or both, what are you going to do then? Just go back to your old ways because you feel like if you kill a good guy, I kill a bad guy, now I can do whatever I want again. I don't know,
It's hard to tell which side he's actually going to stay on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't think of anything else, can you?
No, I don't think so.
In that case, that's going to be it for me, Derry, my brother.
Bye.
And we'll catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.